particular doubt in the assignment question, which I had told you in this one, to find out what is deposit, what is not deposit? Loan part. Which one was it? I think this was. So in this rupees 5 crore, A, is it a deposit or not? Is A deposit or not? A is not deposit. Any fund received from the government authority, not a deposit. Yes. Okay. Second one, rupees 50 lakhs by way of share application money. Is it a deposit? 50 lakh rupees. The company received 50 lakh rupees by way of deposit. Is it? Our company received 50 lakh rupees as share application money. Is that deposit? No. Your answer should be it is not a deposit until 15 days after expiry of 60 days. A company has 60 days to make an allotment. If an allotment is not made, the company will be given another 15 days extra to refund. If at all not refunded in that 15 days also, then share application money will be treated as deposit. If refunded within that time, then no. That is how you need to answer. Okay, 50 lakhs from one of its director by way of loan. What did we see this? A director of a company can give loan. Also, not only director, a relative of a director can also give loan if it is a private company. A director of a company can give loan. Just that he needs to give a declaration saying that it is my own money and I have not borrowed it from anyone else. Remember that provision. That is the case of C. Nothing else. Yeah? Any other doubts in this, guys? You guys tried or do you have any doubts? So, if you remember yesterday what we did, see, whenever a company issues a convertible debenture, then it is not a deposit. If at all a company issues a secured debenture, it is not a deposit. But if a company issues a non-convertible debenture, it will be considered as deposit. The only exception is if at all the company's non-convertible debentures are listed, then it will not be considered as deposit. You remember this provision? Can you see this? Amount raised by issue of bonds or debentures. So secured debentures are given here. Secured debentures. Yes. So secured debentures. Secured debentures are not considered as deposit. Also compulsorily convertible debentures. So if you are convertible, it is not considered as deposit. So if it is unsecured or if it is non-convertible, they will be considered as deposit. But if at all such non-convertible debentures are listed, then they will not be considered as deposit. So in short, how do you have to remember? A convertible debenture, not deposit. Secured debenture, not deposit. But if it is a non-convertible debenture, it will be considered as deposit. But if it is listed on any stock exchange, then it is not considered as deposit. Okay. So from many chapters I have been telling you, sir, we have a entire chapter on something called charges. So we finally come to that chapter which is called as charge. Your lesson number 5 called charge. Now what is this charge? What exactly do you mean by charge? First, let us look at your definition as per your textbook. As per 2, yes Sushant, correct, collateral. As per section 2, subsection 16, what do you mean by charge? Charge means interest or a lien created on property or assets of company or its undertakings or its undertakings. So what is a charge? Charge means an interest or lien created on property or assets of company or its undertaking. As security and includes a mortgage. So what is a charge? Charge means an interest or a lien created on property or assets of company, its undertaking, as security and includes a mortgage. Now, sir, what is the meaning of it? Now, say for example, there was a company called XYZ Private Limited. Now, the company wanted money. Yeah, obviously, because of any business need, the company wanted money. The company went to our all-time favorite bank, ICICI Bank. They went for taking some loan. They went and approached the bank and they said, dear bank, we want around 50 lakh rupees as loan. ICICI Bank said, why not? I'll give you the loan, provided you have to give me something as a security. I asked why. Because tomorrow if you do not repay, if you sink, if you are a sinking boat, Titanic, whatever is on the boat will also go inside. So, I want something, when even you sink, something should float, so that I can take that instead for whatever money I am giving now. So, ICICI Bank said them to bring some property. So, what did XYZ Private Limited do? XYZ Private Limited, they had certain land with them. So, XYZ Private Limited, they told ICICI Bank, I will give you my land. So let us enter into an agreement. In that agreement, ICICI said, I will give you 50 lakhs. If at all you fail to repay the money, this land will, whatever the money on that land is there, you have to sell that land, and that money, whatever I have given you, that is 50 lakh rupees, that should be given back to me by selling this land. So they enter into an agreement. So 50 lakh is given by ICICI Bank, and the land, whatever it is there, they have created an agreement that if at all tomorrow XYZ fails to repay the loan on time, then ICICI Bank will get his money by selling the land, whatever has been subjected to security. So imagine if XYZ Private Limited was not able to repay the money on date, then ICICI Bank will get back the money by selling the land. Yes sir, so what? This entire thing, once you have entered into an agreement saying that whatever is that land belongs to you if at all I do not repay your loan on time. Now whatever agreement they entered into, this agreement should be informed to ROC. It has to be informed to ROC. Now, once you inform, now assume this land is in Kerala. Yeah, this land dimension is 60-40, and landmark say it is near Lulu Mall. Yeah, Kochi. Yeah, so Lulu Mall, that okay, let us take that only. Yeah, now this has been given as a collateral. Now what happens? The same thing, all these things will be entered in the government records. The government maintains one book, register of charges. Government maintains one book. In that book, he will write XYZ Private Limited has subject to charge. They have given this land, whatever this land details are. The land details will be entered here. Everything, the dimension, which land, whose land, everything will be written. And whether now XYZ Limited, everything will be written on the government website. And whether this particular thing is closed, or has XYZ repaid the loan or has he not yet repaid the loan, both will be shown in the status. The status says that either open or close. When it is open, that means XYZ has not yet paid the loan. When it is closed, that means yes, XYZ has repaid the loan and that whatever security I have created, that has come to an end. Everything will be maintained on the government records. Yes? So, now what is this, sir? This entire thing is called as charge creation. So, what do you mean by charge creation? By any way where you are giving a security, you are giving a particular interest to the creditor. Tomorrow, if you sink, his interest should be protected. So, how you protect is by creating a charge. Any doubts? Now, in our example, there was two companies. One was XYZ and one was ICICI Bank. This XYZ is called as charge creator. ICICI Bank is called as charge holder. Yeah, XYZ is called as charge creator, a person who has created the charge. ICICI Bank in our case, basically debtor is always charge creator, creditor is always charge holder. Pranita, company also maintains, everything is there, we'll get into it. Register of KMP, register of directors, register of shareholders, register of charges. Company should also maintain, all that is there. Yes, clear? Awesome. Now, sir, there is similar concept, there is something called as mortgage, no sir. Why do we need charge? There is already mortgage, no sir. Why do we need charge? See, ideally, there is a difference. First thing I tell you, in charge includes mortgage. Any security you create, whether in India or outside India, wherever you create a collateral on your property towards any loan, any type of security, it shall be called as charge. What is mortgage? Basically, what is mortgage? Mortgage, the basic difference, mortgage is something where there is say XYZ Limited and there is a ICICI Bank. Now say for example XYZ Limited wants to construct a office. So XYZ Limited went and asked a loan with ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank said yes, I will give you, provided the same condition. What is the condition? You have to give me something as security. XYZ Bank said, as of now I don't have anything. ICICI Bank said, you do one thing. Whatever the office you are constructing, you write that office in my name only. He is telling me You do one thing, whatever is your office, until you repay the money, you give that office to me. Whenever you give your money, you take your office. XYZ said, okay, whatever is said, I'll agree. But I'm constructing that office for me to do my business there. If I give my office to you, where will I sit? On the roads? Asked XYZ. Now, ICICI said, okay, do one thing. Let us enter into an agreement. In that agreement, you agree to transfer your property to me. And also, whatever the documents of your building are, the title deeds, whatever the title deeds are, all the papers of your office, all that give it to me. Nothing shall be with you. Oh, okay. Now, can I sell this property to someone? The answer is no, you cannot sell this property to someone. So, a mortgage is where the interest in the property is transferred. Tomorrow, if you do not repay the loan, he will automatically become the owner. Your documents of the title will also be with that particular person. With charge, you can continue to hold your documents with you only. There is no hard and fast rule where you have to give the documents also to him. Just that you will have a charge deed and you would have registered this with the government. So because of that particular authority, you need not take the title deeds, because government will come to your help, because everything is recorded in their register. So all mortgages can be charged, but not all charges are mortgages. Yes? Let us see some differences. A mortgage is created by the act of the parties. A charge also is created either by the act of parties or by operation of law. Sir, what do you mean by this operation of law? What do you mean by act of the parties? Meaning, you guys enter into a mortgage voluntarily. But charge can come into picture even by operation of law. How, sir? Assume A sold certain goods to B. B has not yet made the payment. Now, A has a charge towards the goods he has sold to B. Now, if B does not pay, A can go and get back the goods even though he has sold. Sir, who has written? Where is it written? They did not enter into any such agreement. That is only called as by the operation of law. Where you have sold something, the other person has not given you money. Law says by default there is a charge creation. Yes, so it can be either voluntary act or it can be by the operation of law also, charge. A mortgage is to be registered under Transfer of Property Act 1882. Act applicable there is Transfer of Property Act 1882. Now with our circumstances we are seeing it as per Companies Act 2013. However, a charge created by operation of law does not require registration. So whenever that creditor has given, whenever a person has sold the goods and you have not made the payment, there you need not register such charge also. What is that register and all? We'll explain. I'll come to that particular thing. A mortgage is always for a fixed term. For example, you have to repay me the loan within 10 years. If you do not repay, that house will belong to me. So it is always for a fixed term. Charge is always perpetuity. It goes on. It keeps going. Until and unless as per agreed, whatever the conditions they have agreed, it will go as per that. A mortgage is a transfer of an interest. What do you mean by transfer of interest? Ownership will be transferred. In a mortgage, your title deeds will be given. In charge, no such thing exists. You need not give your interest, you need not give your title deeds. It is just an agreement you enter into and you notify the government. Yeah? A mortgage is good against subsequent transferees. Whenever you sell your particular if you are selling your property to someone else, even that person, his property won't be free from mortgage. But charge will come to that point. I'll explain you that. Mortgage always carries a personal liability. Charge does not carry a personal liability. Sir, what do you mean by personal liability? X borrowed 10 lakhs from ICICI Bank. And he had one car that is worth 5 lakh rupees. He has created a mortgage. Okay, assume this was a property, a building worth 5 lakh rupees. So he has taken 10 lakh rupees loan and he has created a mortgage of 5 lakh rupees building with ICICI Bank. Tomorrow he was not able to repay this money, 10 lakh. So now ICICI Bank will come and it will sell this 5 lakh building and it will take money, that is 5 lakh. Now the remaining 5 lakh, where will he get? ICICI Bank can tell Mr. X to repay that 5 lakh also. The entire 10 lakhs can be told to be repaid by X from ICICI Bank. This is called as personal liability. Even after selling the property, if there is still some amount left which you need to repay, that money can be collected by the person. Even after selling the property, if there is still anything outstanding, you can still collect it. In charge, there is no personal liability. Same case, X created charge on ICICI Bank. Now, the property worth was 5 lakh rupees, the charge. The amount taken was 10 lakh rupees. Now, if X is not able to repay this 10 lakh rupees, now ICICI Bank will come and it will take in charge of this 5 lakh rupees. Now, what happens to the rest 5 lakh rupees? The rest 5 lakh rupees, X is not liable. He is not personally liable. Yes, so in mortgage there is always personal liability. In charge there is no such personal liability. So what does the law say? Whenever you are accepting a charge, make sure you are accepting to a fullest amount. You have taken 10 lakh as loan, no? Make sure that you are taking a property also worth 10 lakhs as security. So, this is a basic difference between charge and mortgage. Yes? But as I told you, mortgage can be a charge, but not all charges are mortgage. There are only minor differences. Sir, now tell us why charge? Sir, what if that particular property is being given to someone else also? Now, XYZ company wanted money. It went to ICICI Bank. It had a property worth 10 lakh rupees. It borrowed around say 5 lakh rupees as loan. Sir, now what if XYZ company takes loan even from HDFC Bank? How much is it taking? It is taking say another 10 lakhs. Now HDFC Bank also asks for collateral. Sir, XYZ is giving the same land as collateral. Now what to do? So the purpose of this charge itself was to avoid these things. What was happening was, whenever a second creditor is coming and giving the loan to the company, it was so happening that they never used to know whatever the property given, is that property being mortgaged somewhere? Is there any problem with that property? Has he given this property already to someone else as mortgage? There was nowhere where I could go and see all these documents. So what did company law say? The moment XYZ The moment he took his first loan and he created his first charge. First charge against ICICI Bank. Whenever you created the charge, you have to intimate ROC. Within what days, how and all, we'll see in the procedure. Yes? Now, okay sir, I intimated. So what? I told you, ROC will maintain a book. Now, ROC tells, whatever a book I am maintaining, it is a public document. So, all you banks and all you people, whom you call it as innocent people, before taking any property as a charge, mortgage, come and check whether such property details are there in this public document. If it is not there, that means he has not created any charge. The property is free from charges. If he has created, then there is a risk. Make sure it is your liability. So that is the reason all the details are available on public domain. Yes? Does it make sense now? Why? Why charge and all? So look at this. This is Kingfisher company. Yeah? Sir, you said it is a public document. See. Can you see this? Charges. All of you. And can you see here status? Closed, open, 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 closed, open, open, open. Can you see this? All of you. Sir, property details. Can you see here? Sir, what if taken on same day? Sulochana, what happens if you take on same day? Always it depends on which charge you are registering first. Whosoever charge is coming first, he will be the superior charge holder. Getting the point? Suppose I have land worth 10 lakh. Can I take loan from two different banks of 5 lakh each? Yes, Paritosh. I will come to that point. I will explain you that. Okay. Then whichever charge is registered first, that will have a priority. Suppose I have 10 lakh worth property. Can I register two charges with two different banks for 5 lakh rupees? Guys, first thing, is there any difference between pledge and charge? Is there any difference between pledge and charge? Charge does not include pledge. Why, sir? What is pledge? In pledge, the ownership, the possession of the property transfers. Sir, example, Muthoot Finance. What do? You have to go and give your gold, say bangles. Yeah, you are giving your bangles to Muthoot. They will give you money. This is called as pledge. What is pledge? The delivery of goods is given to the creditor. In charge, delivery is not given. You can continue using your goods. So pledge is not included in charge. I repeat, what is pledge? Now I wanted money. I take my bike and I give it to some person and I get money. That is pledge. My property, I transfer the possession to someone else and then only I'll get money. That is called as pledge. What is charge? Charge, there is only an agreement. You will neither transfer the title, you will neither give the possession. You can continue using it. That is called charge. In pledge, the possession is transferred. Ideally, it will be movable properties, gold, bike, car, all that will be pledge. Charge, no transfer of possession. Yes, is this clear? Pranita, I think I answered your question. So you cannot pledge. It will not be considered as charge. Yeah? Goodwill, I'll come to that part. Yeah? Okay. Now, okay sir. Sir, what are the types of charges? Now, first of all, first tell me, did you understand what is the purpose of the charge? That is why in the definition we have given lien charge is what? Either a interest created or a lien created. Yes? What is lien? Whenever you have sold certain thing, you will still have the right on that particular thing. Operation of law, whatever I told you. You have sold certain thing, it will still belong to you until the money is repaid. Okay, sir. Sir, we understood what is a charge. We got to know why we need a charge. Now, before a second creditor, if he takes the same property as a security, he needs to go and check on the government records. If it is there, then do not take, be safe. Now, kinds of charge. I'll answer your further questions. Kinds of charge on the nature of charge. Next one, on the basis of conditions of charge. On the nature of charge and on the nature of conditions of charge. On the nature of charge, the charge can be further divided into fixed charge and floating charge. On the basis of condition, it can be divided into pari passu charge, exclusive charge, further charge. Yes, write down this table, then we'll see what does what mean. Kinds of charges, nature of charge, fixed and floating charge. On the basis of conditions of charge, pari passu charge, exclusive charge, further charge. Done? Okay. Now, what is this? We'll come to this. Now, for example, a company wants to take loan from ICICI Bank. What is this company? Assume this company is Royal Enfield. ICICI Bank, they wanted to take loan. How much? Royal Enfield wanted 1 crore rupees as loan. ICICI Bank said, yeah, why not? Royal Enfield, I'll give you. Royal Enfield felt very happy. Oh, thank you so much. Then give. ICICI said, no, we cannot give like this. Go and get some property. Royal Enfield said, we don't have any property. ICICI said, okay, go and get if you have any land or if you have any building. They said, no, we don't have any such thing. ICICI Bank said, then what else you have? Royal Enfield said, we have. Okay, let me explain this only first. It's okay. Royal Enfield said, okay, what else you have? ICICI said, ICICI said, okay, then what else you have? Royal Enfield said, I have, this plant and machinery. I have all this infrastructure. I have all this, certain fixed assets with me. ICICI said, then that is more than fine. You can bring any of your land. You can bring any of your buildings. You can bring any of your plant and machinery. You can bring any of your fixed assets as charge. No problem. So Royal Enfield gave that and they gave money. Yeah, they gave the property, they entered into an agreement on whatever the fixed assets they had, and these people they gave 1 crore rupees. So there ends the matter. They got the loan. Okay, sir. Let us see second scenario. Sir, same Royal Enfield went for ICICI Bank. Now they asked how much you want. Again, second scenario. They said we want 1 crore. ICICI Bank said, what do you have? That is totally fine. Absolutely no problem. Whenever, if you default in repayment, whatever is your loan amount, only that will be taken. And if it is any extra, it will be given back. Now listen. Now Royal Enfield went again. ICICI asked, what do you have? He said, land. No, I don't have. Building. No, I don't have. Fixed assets. He said, no, I don't have. Then ICICI said, then what do you have? Then why do you need loan? When you don't have all this, then why do you need loan? Royal Enfield said, I have bikes. ICICI said, okay, your bikes, huh? He said, no, the bikes which I want to sell to customers. ICICI said, if that is there, then you do one thing. You bring some 500 to 1000 bikes with me. You keep it here and go. Royal Enfield said, if I give my bikes to you, it becomes pledge. If I give my bikes to you, what will I sell? ICICI Bank said, then how will I give loan? Then ICICI Bank referred to Companies Act. Companies Act said, no problem, you can also give loan on the stock whatever the company is having. What do you mean by stock, sir? The stock meaning whatever the company is having, the working material, the stock which they want to sell and they want to make money. You can have a charge on this stock also. Oh, is it? So, do you mean they cannot sell that stock? No. They can do anything with that stock. What do you mean by anything? This stock can be again further mortgaged. This can be further sold. This can be further leased. Whatever they want, they can do. This is called stock. Because that is their regular property which they have to sell. If they give it to you, then what money will they make? But yes, you can take this also as charge. If tomorrow something happens, you can take these bikes and go. Now, ICICI said, are you mad or what? You are telling they can do all this, they can sell, they can lease. Based on your words, if I give them money, you say, yes, I have charge. If they do something, tomorrow you can come and collect the money. Today, if they sell off, from whom will I take my money? Okay, make sure one thing. What? Now assume you are giving 1 crore as loan. So make sure one thing. What? At any given point of time, their stock should not fall less than 1 crore. So meaning what? Assume they are selling all these old bikes. Whatever is in stock, if they are selling, there should be new bikes which should come again and sit in the showroom. So at any given point of time, they should have at least 1 crore worth bikes in their showroom. ICICI said, now this makes sense. This now makes sense to me. Royal Enfield also happy, ICICI Bank also happy. So what do you mean? You can also take charge on your stock, also on your debtors. Whatever your book debts are. What do you mean by debtors? Debtors means people who should pay you money. Pay the company money. That will always be seen on your asset side. Even on that you can take charge. Meaning what? In the current assets of the company, you can see debtors say worth 50 lakh. What do you mean by debtors? You have sold them. They are yet to make the payment. On this also you can take charge. You can say this 50 lakh whatever I get from debtors, that you only take. You give me 1 crore loan. So this 50 lakhs keeps fluctuating. This goes to 75. This keeps on fluctuating. So the moment it is 50, that doesn't mean it should not change. It can fluctuate. Provided whatever is your minimum, that should be maintained. Okay, sir. Now, what do you mean by this? Why did you give us two scenarios? Now, come back to your table. What is a fixed charge? Fixed charge is a charge which is created on the fixed asset of the company. Sir, what is floating charge? Floating charge is the charge which is created on the temporary assets, that is your stock, your book debts, that is your debtors. The charge created on these current assets is called as floating charge. So it is a charge which is not attached to any definite property. So basically, this keeps fluctuating. Sir, example you can write stock in trade. So understood what do you mean by fixed charge and floating charge? The new stock comes, old stock goes. The new stock comes, the old stock goes. So the charge is always floating. So today it is on Himalayan bike. Tomorrow classic bike comes. It is on classic bike. So tomorrow GT 550 will come. On that it will be the floating charge. So whatever is a property that day, that will be the charge. So tomorrow some bike comes. It will be on that bike. So it is never definite. Here it is always definite. Fixed charge is always on that building only. So basically fixed charge you cannot deal. You cannot keep on reselling. Floating charge you can keep trading on that particular thing. Understood? Any doubt? If I have made an investment in a company and they have to give me the profits, can I create charge in that, sir? But you can create a charge. It's not if you are investing in shares, if you are investing in debentures. So whenever you saw secured debenture, secured deposit, what was that? If your money is not repaid, then you can sell the asset and you can take the money. Getting the point? Yes, guys, in fixed charge, floating charge, any doubt? Regarding floating charge, we will be discussing a little more, I'll tell you. But did you understand the concept? What is the difference between fixed charge and floating charge? All of you? Now, can you see here? Yeah? Assets under charge, movable property, not a pledge. Can you see here? Goodwill, book debt. Basically fluctuating, book debts, debtors. Can you see here? This kingfishers. Guys, all of you understood? Okay. Now, Sushant had a doubt. What is that? Sir, what if I have 10 lakh worth property? Sir, what if I have 10 lakh worth property? Can I take 5 lakh loan from HDFC? Can I take 5 lakh loan from ICICI on the same property? Can I take it? You can take it provided it is a pari passu charge. Sir, what do you mean by pari passu charge? Pari passu charge means charge shared by more than one lender in ratio of their outstanding amount. So what do you mean by pari passu charge? It is a charge shared by more than one lender. Charge shared by more than one lender in the ratio of their outstanding amount. So what do you mean by exclusive charge? Exclusive charge means whenever a charge is created, so charge created to a particular lender alone. So what do you mean by exclusive charge? If at all XYZ Limited created exclusive charge on ICICI Bank, then no, you cannot further create the same particular thing on HDFC Bank. Sir, where will all these things be written? Whatever agreement you guys enter into, it is called as charge deed, or basically any document, whatever agreement you guys enter into, there you have to enter these conditions. If you enter as exclusive charge, then no one else can take that property. Even if they take, the first right will always be on him. You cannot take it on anyone else. Sir, what if it's written pari passu? Pari passu is written, then anyone can take it. I can share it with any number of lenders. Understanding? The asset charge can be given as charge to further lenders as well. The asset charged can be given as further lenders also. The asset charge can be given as charge to further lenders also. Now listen carefully. No tension. Listen carefully. First, let us see pari passu charge and exclusive charge. Yeah. Okay. First, let us see pari passu charge. XYZ company. He had a property. The property worth was 10 lakh. He wanted money. He went to ICICI Bank. And ICICI Bank, he gave this property as charge and he borrowed 15 lakh rupees. You can even accept less also. It is left to you. So ICICI Bank gave 15 lakhs and he took this 10 lakh as the charge. And they entered into an agreement that yes, I am giving you 15 lakh rupees, and for which if you fail to give me back the money, then whatever is your property, that will be mine. I will sell that and I will take money. And in the condition also he has written, this charge shall be pari passu charge. He has written it is pari passu charge. Now what is that? Now see carefully. Now XYZ company, he wanted still more money. He went to HDFC Bank. He again wanted 5 lakh more rupees. Again, XYZ doesn't have any other property. Same property he gave to HDFC Bank also. Yeah? And HDFC Bank saw that ICICI Bank has taken the same property, but in the agreement it has written it as pari passu. So HDFC agreed to take that particular thing as a charge and they gave him 5 lakh rupees. Okay sir, now XYZ went into liquidation. They didn't have money. They didn't have money to pay. Now the charge available is 10 lakh rupees. The money, if we sell the land, you will get 10 lakh rupees. But you have to pay 15 lakhs to ICICI, HDFC 5 lakh. Till now, did you guys understand or any question? Till now, whatever is the facts, did you understand or any question? Basically, on the same land, both the people have given loan. The land value is 10 lakh, but they have given 20 lakh worth loan. Any doubt? No? Okay. Listen carefully. Now, listen carefully. If at all the land value was 20 lakh, if XYZ was going into liquidation, ICICI will take 15 lakh, HDFC will take 5 lakh, absolutely no problem. So, let us look at the worst scenario. What if the property, if you sell, you will get 10 lakh, but the amount to be repaid is 15 lakh and 5 lakh. Now the law say, if at all the charge is pari passu, if the charge is pari passu, then the lenders will get the money in the ratio they have given you the money. Meaning 3:1. So take your land. He has given 15 lakh, he has given 5 lakh. Yeah. So 3:1. 3:1. He has given you 15 lakh, he has given you 5 lakh. So take your land. So 5 one time, 5 3 time. I am just simplifying it. So 3:1 is a ratio. Now sell your land. You got 10 lakh rupees, right? Now divide it into 4 pieces. Give him 3/4. Give him 1/4. So ICICI Bank will get 7,50,000. HDFC Bank will get 2,50,000 from the property. So this is called as pari passu. If you go into liquidation, you will get money in the proportion of your contribution. Any doubt with respect to pari passu? Okay. Now listen carefully. Same example. Yeah, sir. Same example. Let us look at the second scenario. Sir, ICICI Bank has not written pari passu. ICICI Bank has written not pari passu. Instead, they have written there shall be no further charge. they have written no further charge. So in this case, what will happen? If at all there will be further charge, if it has written, yeah, then what will happen? XYZ now wants money. ICICI Bank has written no further charge. Now, before going to HDFC, XYZ shall first come to ICICI Bank. He has to take permission, saying that ICICI Bank, I want further more money. I don't have any other property. Can I give the same property to HDFC also, and can I take loan? ICICI says, yes, you can, but provided the condition is there shall be no further charge, and he gives his consent. Yeah, the further charge has been written, and when he comes and asks and he gives consent, there is one hidden condition. I'll tell you what is that. Now, HDFC Bank will also take. HDFC Bank will say, he has agreed, no, then no problem. Now, HDFC Bank will give 5 lakh rupees as loan. Again on the same property worth 10 lakh, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank both have given. Here you have to come and ask the consent with ICICI Bank whenever you are going for a subsequent charge. Now, listen carefully. Again same thing, XYZ went into liquidation. Now the law says, in this 10 lakh, whoever is the first charge holder, this entire money should be repaid towards the first charge holder. If his money is repaid and still something is left, that belongs to HDFC Bank. I repeat, whenever the first charge holder writes that there will be no further charge, and if he still creates further charge after the consent only, still whoever is the first charge holder, he will have an entitlement towards his entire money until 15 lakh of his is not paid. Until 15 lakhs is not paid, you cannot get even 1 rupee. Who, sir? So, in our case, there was 10 lakh rupees, the value of the property. The law say, first repay ICICI Bank's loan. How much? First repay his entire 15 lakhs. Sir, I don't have so much. Whatever you have, repay that. HDFC Bank will not get anything in this given case. Sir, what if my land value was 15 lakh? Entire thing give it to ICICI Bank. Sir, what if my land value was 17 lakh? Pay 15 lakh to ICICI. This 2 lakh, if you want, you pay to HDFC. This condition is called as further charge. Yes, Thomas, correct. Sir, what if there is any outstanding interest? That can also be added. For 15 lakhs, assume there is any outstanding interest of 1 lakh. So the charge will be 16 lakh. So, did you guys understand what is further charge? All of you. In pari passu, there will be proportion. In further charge, first everything of 1% should be repaid. If anything remaining, that belongs to the second charge holder. Any doubt? Awesome. Sir, now what is the third charge? Third charge is called as exclusive charge. What do you mean by exclusive? Whenever this word is written in any charge, any agreement, that means you cannot further give this property as charge to anyone else. There cannot be any further charge created on this particular property. So whenever it is exclusive, exclusive means I have that king right. Exclusive. I am exclusively having this right. No one else I will share it with. So exclusive charge is always a selfish person. He will not share it with anyone else. Pari passu is a friend. Yeah, he treats everyone as together. Further charge, he is like selfish only, but first he will take. If something is remaining, he will give it to someone else. Yes, all of you. Any doubts? So further charge, yes, whenever it is written as further charge, that means I am ready to share it with anyone else, provided if you have so much of bandwidth. If someone asked me saying that, sir, my land value is 10 lakh, I am taking only 5 lakh worth ICICI. Now I can say with ICICI, my land value is 10 lakh. You are giving me only 5 lakh. Can I take this 5 lakh with HDFC? So whenever it is written as further charge, then you have to come and ask for permission from ICICI. Yeah, got it? Sir, can the agreement be modified? I will come to that part. Yes, it can be modified. Sir, what if the loan ICICI before Corona, it said every month I have to pay interest. Okay, every year I have to pay interest. Now due to Corona, there is many changes. Now, yes, your agreement can be modified. Many of them are giving you leeway. Yeah, they are giving you some breathing space. They are saying it's okay. Give us a little late only, it's okay. So that things can be modified. Getting the point? So that is with respect to kinds of charges. Now, let us see more about floating charge. Sir, what is floating charge? Very simple. Sir, there is XYZ company, there is ICICI Bank, they wanted loan, sir. So whatever is their bikes, say stock in trade, their stock, on that they took loan. Yeah. Now, when will ICICI Bank be able to take this stock towards their repayment? Meaning, sir, new batches coming in, old batches going out, new batches coming in, old batches going out. When will I know that which batch is coming to me? When will I know that which stock will come to me? When can I take possession of all that? If you are saying floating, then when will that property belong to me? Floating means it is not fixed. Floating means it is not mine. It is keeping on floating. Then which belongs to me? The law says this repayment happens when your floating charge, assume you are traveling on the boat. Yeah, your boat is keeping on floating. Now my question is, sir, when will the boat fix? When will it not move? It will not move if the water is silent. Sir, when will the water become silent? Assume the entire water crystallizes. It becomes ice. Boat will not move. Yeah, if you go to these western countries and all, what happens is the entire lake will be ice. So if that happens, your boat will be fixed. It will not move, it will not shake. Okay, sir, why are you telling us all that? The law says the same thing. You will have a right on your floating charge when your floating charge crystallizes. So what do you mean by crystallizes? Crystallization of floating charge. What do you mean by crystallization? Crystallization means that moment where a charge holder can take an action on you. I repeat, that moment where a charge holder can take an action on you. When can he take action? When the charge gets crystallized. Till now it was floating. Now it will freeze. No. You cannot sell your bikes anymore. Freeze. You cannot sell it anymore. So when will it happen, sir? Crystallization happens when? The first one, when company goes into liquidation. when company goes into liquidation, liquidation is winding up, you don't have any other money left, the floating charge will crystallize. They can no longer sell and buy. That will not happen. Now whatever is in your godown belongs to me. So the charge gets crystallized. Okay sir. Next, if company ceases to carry on its business, the company has become lethargic, it is not carrying on the business anymore, the production has come to an end, they are not doing their business anymore, then yes, you can go and take a charge, crystallizes. The company's charge gets crystallized. Now you can go, you can tell yes, all this belongs to me. Whenever creditors or anyone, debenture holders, whenever creditors or debenture holders take steps to enforce their security. What do you mean? Something has happened. Creditors and debentures, they are not getting whatever they need to get. What it is, it can be interest or anything. At that time, you have to go and take steps. It will not become automatically. You have to go and take steps. Go and inform the government, sir, this particular person has to pay me money, he has not paid. Kindly crystallize my charge. Whenever you take steps, that is when it will become crystallized, or else it is floating only. Floating does not have a definite right. Yeah, that time only I told you, whenever it is a floating charge, it can be it can be sold, you can lease it, you can even mortgage it. Mortgage is what? You are transferring your ownership to someone else. It can be done, anything can be done until the charge is crystallized. Okay sir. So whenever a creditor takes steps, he goes and he says, government, this particular person has not paid my interest, please protect me. You are taking the step. Yeah. The fourth one, on happening of the event specified in the deed. Whatever agreement you guys have entered into, you have said, see, after 1 year, if you do not pay me money, the charge, whatever is the floating one, it will become crystallized. So as on that day, if you are not paying money, on that day, whatever is your stock, that belongs to me. I'll come and sell it and I'll take money. So, or any event, whichever you have specified in your agreement. So as per the agreement, your charge gets crystallized. So based on these four situations, the floating charge gets crystallized. What do you mean by crystallization? Crystallization means till now the charge holder cannot come and take the money, because whenever it is a floating charge, you have every right to sell and make money. No one can come you and stop you from selling it. Fixed charge cannot be sold, but floating charge you can deal it like your everyday, day-to-day business. But when will that right stop on the particular charge seller who was the charge creator? When will that right come to an end? When your floating charge gets crystallized. You cannot enjoy any more right of further mortgaging, further selling, further leasing, any such thing. Once it gets crystallized, you cannot do anything else. Any doubt in this? Okay, listen carefully. one exam question. There were debenture holders. Yeah, they gave company around 10 lakh rupees. Again, XYZ company. It created floating charge on its assets. Okay, sir. Now, what happened? XYZ company, they did not pay interest to these debenture holders for 3 months. For 3 months, the debenture holders, whatever their money, the interest was not paid. Okay, sir. Parallelly, something else was also happening. What? XYZ company wanted some more money. So what did they do? Whatever their stock was on which they took floating charge, the same thing they went and mortgaged it in some other place. They went and mortgaged it some other place. Now what happened? XYZ company, now the time of repayment came, XYZ company did not have money. Now the question was whether this mortgage people, whoever is this mortgage, assume this was with ABC, whether they will get the money from the stock or the debenture holders will get the money from the stock. I repeat, the debenture holders, they had the first charge. It was a floating charge. On that, 3 months interest was not paid. In this meanwhile, XYZ on the same stock, they made a mortgage against ABC company. Now, when it came to the time of repayment, they didn't have money with both the people. Now, debenture holder said, the money should come to us, absolutely, obviously. The company cannot create mortgage at all. They argued. XYZ said, no, I don't mind. Whoever you want, you can take. For me, it doesn't make any difference. Because in charge, no personal liability. Whatever is the stock, you guys take. But ABC company contended, the stock belongs to us. They said, why? You remember, whenever it is a floating charge can be sold. It can be further mortgaged. It can be further leased. Debenture holder said, yes, that is true. But you know what? Whenever they do not repay, whenever the floating charge, if they do not do certain things, then the charge gets crystallized. Once the charge gets crystallized, they cannot further mortgage it. They cannot further do anything. Debenture holder said. Now ABC company said, okay, you only tell me when will the charge gets crystallized? They say company goes into liquidation. Okay, the company is not yet come into liquidation. Okay, the company ceases to carry on business. No, when it came to me, it was not yet stopped carrying on business. Okay, when creditors or debenture holders take steps to enforce their security. Sir said, if at all say some interest is not paid, then the charge gets crystallized. No, the student said, sir didn't tell that. Sir said, if at all the charge, whatever interest is to be paid, if the interest is not paid, the debenture holders should take steps. Go and inform the government, my interest is not paid, please help me. What if the steps is not taken? If the steps is not taken, the charge is not crystallized. The charge is not crystallized. The company is free to do anything, that is sell, mortgage or any other purpose. So in this case, yes, the mortgage was valid. And always remember, if it is a mortgage, they will have a priority over a floating charge holder. Understood this scenario? Now, sir, what if the debenture holders had informed the government and then the mortgage was created? Then debenture holders will have the priority. Why? The charge would have been crystallized. Once the charge is crystallized, you cannot deal with that stock anymore. In this given case, they had not taken further steps, and hence whatever the debenture holders contention, it was not valid, and the mortgage holders won the case. Whenever, even on the first month also, whenever it is money is not paid, you can go and take the steps. No one stops you. Just that you should have taken. Only if you take the steps, the charge gets crystallized. If no, it doesn't get crystallized. So, go through this case law. Although a floating charge is present security, yet it leaves the company free to create specific mortgage on its property having priority over the floating charge. Mortgage people. In the case of Government Stock Investment Company Limited versus Manila Railway Company, the debentures were secured by a floating charge. 3 months interest became due, but the debenture holders took no steps and the charge did not crystallize but remained floating. The company then made a mortgage of a specific part of its property. It was held that the mortgagee had priority over the floating charge holder. The security for the debentures remained merely floating, as the debentures holder had taken no steps to enforce their security. So, always remember, fixed charge is always best when compared to floating charge. Floating charge is always risky. So, what do you mean by effect of crystallization of floating charge? See this point. If at all, Thomas, what happens? If at all you get your charges get crystallized, the moment it is crystallized, you cannot further mortgage the same property. Until your charge crystallizes, floating charge holder has no right on that particular property. So, see effect of crystallization. On crystallization, the floating charge converts into a fixed charge. So, on crystallization, the floating charge converts into a fixed charge on the property of the company. It has priority over any subsequent equitable charge and other unsecured creditor. What is this? Do not read. We will see after break. Exactly. It was, in our case, it was mortgaged before crystallization. After crystallization, then no, mortgage will not get any right. It was done before crystallization. Getting the point? If debenture holders were not aware of mortgage, then what happens is, the moment, see, very simple, your debenture, whenever you need to get your first month installment, that is your interest, you did not get. Your right was to go and you had to take all the necessary action in the first month only. When you did not take, it was your default. And the second thing, never go with floating charge. It comes with a risk. Getting the point? See, now what the debentures holders could have done, they could have written pari passu, or they could have written some other thing. But the problem with floating charges, it is always subjected to risk. Floating charge, no matter what you do, there is always risk associated with it. Are you getting the point? Floating charge is a good security. Floating charge gets fixed only on crystallization. When will it crystallize? On the 4 scenarios. Liquidation, stopping of business when debtors or creditors take any steps. Yes? So only in these four cases it gets crystallized. Whenever it gets crystallized, the floating charge gets converted to a fixed charge. Now a company cannot give it to any outsider. Until then, a company can freely trade with it. That is the reason company always goes for a floating charge. If you are a creditor, do not accept a floating charge if you want to be safe. Yes? Awesome.